My suspicion was, at least in looking at the name Black Heart, this new Frozen Crown track, that we'd be dipping more into that foreboding power menace that we've been experiencing, at least in the earlier tracks, in Force at the very least. In part, especially of the last one, Fire in the Sky. I still can't get over how exquisite that work is. And now that I look at the track again, I haven't looked at the lyrics in depth. Maybe it'll materialize when we get a better perspective, but the cover art certainly mimics, again, a darker tone. I'm really excited to hear more from this album. Like I said, I've been catching up all night with Frozen Crown. It's very much a Frozen Crown event night, and I'm having a wonderful time doing it. As I've said many times, there's a long-standing, promise from me that I intended to check out some of their works, given the earlier introduction I had, as many of you know, to Giada Jade Etro's vocal talents for the Volturian collaboration. Some of you might not know that name. I highly recommend them. Italian modern metal, much like Frozen Crown, Italian as well. Power metal here. But the collaborative work and part of it, a heartbeat, set a good baseline going in. And I'm like, okay, at some point, because I got the connection point of Frozen Crown there, I'm like, I'll check them out eventually, because I was like, Giada's a stellar vocalist. And checking out the group, broadly speaking, 14 tracks in, from what I've chosen at the very least in terms of a selection, I've had a wonderful time. I love this group. Dynamic force in the European metal scene, as I've said many times, and I can't say it enough. Many of you know how much I love this space in the world in terms of music releases, especially in the metal territory. Being a big metalhead, obviously that's what I drive to. Frozen Crown is so perfect, in my opinion, as a fit to my playlist. I'm honored to call myself a fan, even though I'm much younger in my days in comparison, I'm sure, to a number of you who are definitely outranking me in years. But it's wonderful to join you in bond of appreciation to a wonderfully talented group that I am head over heels for right now in terms of music replays. And everything I've heard tonight, having finished covering, in fact, the selection of Winterbane and now moving into the present day. So now I can say at the very least I'm getting to that point of being fully caught up alongside many of you. It really has been a treat to entertain their works. And perhaps, if I've been able to manage this, introduce some of you. I know there have been a couple of you, at least you've had this interaction with me in the past, that you took a exposure to Frozen Crown for me for the first time, and some of you expressed that you already knew the name. And like I've said with music many times, it's been an ambition of mine to bring it into a grander focus on this channel, and it's evolving quite well in terms of even beyond what my original ambitions were, but especially upon first interactions, as this channel more so is built upon, generally speaking, music for me is a first love, and I did not realize how much enjoyment I would have in sharing the experience with every one of you. Though I can't necessarily see your face, it is truly an honor to spotlight a group as talented as Frozen Crown, and to share in that experience, if I can, in not only presenting the account to those of you who are long-standing fans of Frozen Crown, you're getting a unique perspective from somebody who's taking a first deep dive of each work he consults, right? But also for those of you who may not have happened upon Frozen Crown yet, and you're just out there looking for talents in the world. Like I've said, we take a bit of a broad approach here, whether it be in genre, in name familiarity, and even in geography. I'm globe-trotting everywhere, it seems, and some of your many recommendations, at least of what I've kept on the master list, are leading me to other countries as well in the possible future. We'll see. But if I can in any way manage to provide you paths to access new talent and familiarity in first introductions, I love being able to provide that. And to hear that that has been at least a success point for some of you on Frozen Crown has been wonderful. And as well as other groups. I love the experience that we can have in enjoying such a beautiful artistic expression together. And music, at this point on the channel, there's not a track I've consulted that I've not liked. And Frozen Crown wonderfully fits into that. So let's continue our journey through Call of the North, which again is shaping up to be a really dynamic album thus far. And that last piece, I'm going to say it's my favorite of their entire library from what I've heard on this channel. I loved it. Wonderful piece. I'm wondering where Black Heart goes from here and where the album's course will lead us. But man, I'm having a wonderful time with this group. I cannot wait to hear more. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the video and we can enjoy this together alongside the track together for the first time. And if you're not familiarized with my content, perhaps, and this is a first introduction for you in regards to me on music coverage, I do try and accommodate listener taste to the best extent that I can. So if you're somebody that likes to read along with the narrative of the piece as you proceed through a song, I will have that available for you in the video feed. You'll see it pop up as soon as the video materializes. I'm really engaged. Again, I'm loving this darker tone we're taking. That's what the song at least implies to me. We'll see how the song fares when it pops up. Maybe it'll subvert my expectations expectations in a positive manner. There's a positive side to that phrasing, believe it or not. But I'm sure we're going to get exquisite vocals, wonderful riff structures. That's been a key trait with Frozen Crown. I've not been disappointed yet at all. And I'm just going to say, if you've never entertained them, I think you're going to be in for a treat. Let's share in the experience together. Okay, this is very fresh. Love that force. I again gravitate to the more aggressive metal, so. Much darker presence. I like this. And the key choice is wonderful. Hey, they brought the I Am the Tyrant mask back. Again, there's that overlap between Giada and Federico. Trademark, love it. You sink back into that aggressive thrash. I love it. Just take me away. These choruses are wonderful, and if you can hear like that subtle background vocalization, it's a wonderful accompaniment. Excellent layer. Oh, I love this. We have a key pattern here in the riffs that mimic a lot of other songs I'm familiarized to and other artists' endeavors, commonly in American, and I'm loving it. It's just sinking in quite well. Give me more of this, just, oh man. Man, I love this drive. They just continue to outdo themselves. Wonderful piece to entertain. And I love being able to say we're having a mutual take on this. It just would not be the same if I was listening to this myself. It's like, we got 25 seconds left, you can't cut it off. There. Work that vocalization in. Subtle, good plug, though. Especially match that riff. I'm applauding like every track on this album. Finish. I'm just so in love with it. Man, you know what crossed my mind? And I know there's probably many of you that are going to attest to being long-standing Frozen Crown fans. 100%. I get that. But if there, as I've said many times of the European groups I listen to and my music taste more broadly speaking, I've always felt over the course of my life, over the last couple of years, in a bit of an isolated position given people that I know personally who just don't share in my tastes. You guys, of course, do. And it's been great, again, to remind myself that, again, I'm not as much of an anomaly as I oftentimes think. Because I talk to people and it's like, you, of course, I get the blank stares whenever I mention half these groups by name. They're like, who's this person? Yeah, they don't know. As much as I make an effort to be like, hey, there's this advantageous talent in the world just overseas that you might like. I feel if there's any track to give Frozen Crown broad American metal presence, it's that work. I think any of their works, quite frankly, might gel, especially off this new album. I think this one and Fire in the Sky and Calling Over to some degree definitely fit in that respect, as well as probably previous tracks too. Again, I'm not trying to say like there aren't American fans, but I'm saying in terms of the broad mainstream recognition. And Frozen Crown deserves that. Fourth album in, they are exquisite. As I said many times, they deserve every fan they have, and it is an honor to be a part of that. I really do feel, though, that, again, I think of my peer group that I know, or adults in my life, and I'm like, again, I can't say it enough. I look for music that boasts competence, and I so often find it in the metal space and in the alternative, and Europe has just been unanimously, continually enamoring and intoxicating, quite frankly, as an experience. I can't get enough of it. It's an addiction. It's a healthy one, though. It's a pleasant addiction. But I really feel if there is a song to give Frozen Crown mainstream American metal appeal, especially on the harder side, it's that. The thrash, the symphonic dimension to that too. I love symphonic metal. So blending that into the tone of the power structure, wonderful. Perfectly nailed, in my opinion, especially on that conclusion, the break in between. They don't expect like 25 seconds of, oh wait, are we ending the track here? No, we're not. Like, we can't. Segue back in, full throttle with the vocalization pattern. Perfect integration. Giada's fierceness, the blend, overlap, as I've said many times, of her and Federico. Again, reigning power couple champion in the metal scene as far as I'm concerned on vocal regards. They're both very impressive. I love the darker atmosphere of this piece. It's incredibly engaging. Just even as a visualizer, or more so again in the tone of the song, just enamors you, brings you in. It is perfect. I would not ask for anything different. Again, I want to be fair here because I'm in my mind like, oh, should I say it's my favorite? Because it kind of is inching that way. It reminds me so much of, okay, Fire in the Sky and Black Heart are on like even layers for me right now. They're both really dynamic. This one reminds me a lot of mainstream, intense, thrash, headbangy, powerful American metal songs that I've happened to love for years. But I love the key choice here. It does feel a bit unique in presence. And again, the grander spotlight in the background with those vocalization patterns I just love, and how it's integrated on part of both vocalists and the lead positions, blended with the intense percussion. That opener, fantastic. Just set the ground running, but then blending that with part of both Federico doing the Francesco, is it Francesco or Francesco? I try my best on pronunciations, and I welcome clarification down below if I am wrong, because I would like to be perfect in my takes and opinions. So I'm going to say Francesco for now. Francesco, Federico, and Fabiola. All three of them. The three Fs. Perfect in unity work. And blended with the percussion as well on part of Niso. It's amazing. This song, for me, every strand of the music side lands. It's so tight of a package. And I can't get enough of it in terms of a listen. I want to hear it again. It just reminds me so much of mainstream American metal in what my favorites are, but I am like, throw me back in immediately. I want to experience it again. This album has been like that, generally. Every piece I've heard. This is something special. I love this collection of tracks, and it really does feel like I said, with many groups, there's an evolution, right? You start at a foundation and you expand. And I felt this with the last album, Winterbane, consulting for those works as well. That's been the pattern, with 4 tracks per album of what I've looked at. Funny enough, I didn't intend for it to work out that way. It's just the way I planned out, by the visualizers, for the most part, with one exception on Winterbane. In the tracks I decided to consult. I've said with groups that start at one point in their career, right? They expand. They evolve over time. They try new things. And Frozen Crown has definitely preached a more aggressive spirit with this album. It's been very impressive to me to engage what I'm hearing, and it's not only probably my favorite album from them thus far. This one and Fire in the Sky and Call of the North to a degree are all for different reasons, very specialized. They're all top favorites. I love these pieces, and this one is one of the strongest. And it's a bit of a tie-in on part of Visualizers to I Am the Tyrant, though I might need to dissect the message of it a bit further to best see the connection. I love the video presentation. It's very gothic, extremely dark, blends so well with the song. I love the experience, and I loved taking it with you. It's one thing to enjoy these tracks on your own, it's another to share, right? And with Frozen Crown, it's just so special, and I wouldn't ask for it to be any other way. Let me know your thoughts down below on this piece if you wish to disclose your perspective, and as I always say, your angle. Longtime Frozen Crown fan? Evolving now? Maybe an emerging longtime fan, perhaps a better way to say it, in terms of anybody who's taking the initiate position in terms of a listen and encountering? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on this piece and your opinion of it. I'm, again, in love. As always, for Frozen Crown, nothing's really that different for me. It's always been a real treat to spotlight their works, and Black Heart, in my opinion, is exquisite. I want to jump back into it immediately and hear it again. I'm in heaven with it. Perfect release, in my opinion. Wonderful, wonderful tune. And again, Frozen Crown deserves every fan they have, and they deserve to have even more. And I do truly feel that if there is a piece that will throttle them into the American mainstream and recognition, not that they're necessarily asking for it, I'm sure they'd love that, though. What band, what artist would not love a higher regard? And I hope to do that in this channel, in part, like I've said. I hope to provide new paths for you if you haven't discovered, competent talent. And maybe this was the first introduction to you in that respect. So maybe I can help out in that. But I truly believe if there is a tune to throttle concentration from the American mainstream metal audience, Fire in the Sky and I think Call of the North have potential as well, but I think out of the contenders, this is the strongest one. I think Black Heart might be, maybe this is a prediction, I don't know. Maybe it's an inadvertent prophecy of sorts. I'm no prophet, but I truly feel if there's a piece to lead more audience members to their works and in reverence, I feel Black Heart is it. That piece for me is just perfect in every way. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.